Now we turn to an update on an I-Team exclusive. Allegations that cops testified, giving false testimony in a now highly controversial, decades-old Queens murder case. A case where a key file has disappeared.
And stunning claims about questionable conduct by prosecutors and critical 911 tapes that have suddenly surfaced. The I-Team's Sarah Wallace is here in studio right now with details. Sarah.
Well, Jumi and David, the Queens DA's office has not yet responded to this explosive defense motion requesting that a judge throw out the murder conviction of 55-year-old Carlton Roman based on evidence that was never disclosed. Was there a conspiracy to lie?
Listen carefully to these 911 tapes from frantic neighbors on this block in Jamaica, Queens 29 years ago, reporting a double shooting at this house.
And if a man running down the street, send somebody quick.
The first call just after 7:07 p.m. 55-year-old Carlton Roman, now serving a 43-year-to-life sentence for that double shooting, told the I-Team in a prison interview in late January that he never knew those 911 tapes existed until recently.
There was no mention throughout this entire case of anything to do with 911 tapes. Not at all.
The tapes, obtained by Reverend Robert Dickerson, a former NYPD officer turned pastor and private investigator, completely contradict the entire timeline of the crime presented by prosecutors at trial, who relied solely on two questionable witnesses.
And those tapes were never turned over?
Never turned over.
The first responding cops from the 103rd Precinct said they arrived around 6:30 p.m., 40 minutes before those 911 calls started coming in. Roman's attorney, Pierre Sussman, believes the cops tailored their testimony to fit the prosecution's witnesses.
It's apparent that police lied about the time that they were at the scene. There's false testimony given by police officers in this case and civilian witnesses in this case, and the prosecutor allowed it to happen. It's as simple as that.
Was this testimony?
It appears to be testifying. Yes, this is not a problem only in Queens. Obviously, it's a problem all over the country.
Sussman, who has gotten 5 murder convictions overturned in New York City, told me he has never seen a case like Roman's. The DA's office now says it lost his entire file with everything in it.
How do you lose a homicide file?
It's beyond me. In all the years I was a police officer, I would never even think that something like that could ever happen.
No one would have known about those 911 calls had Dickerson and his partner not asked for the file of Roman's co-defendant, Hollis Legler, who is now free after a jury in a separate trial couldn't convict him. The tapes inside his folder.
Pure corruption. End story. They can sugarcoat all they want. It's pure corruption.
By the way, there are no police reports in Layler's file that cops ever questioned any of those critical neighbors on the block who dispute other evidence presented by prosecutors. Roman, who was a young father with no criminal record at the time of his arrest, says his case should be called law and disorder.
How does this make you look at the system?
Justice is just a word. It's almost meaningless unless you're sometimes very lucky.
The DA's office declined to comment to the I-Team except to acknowledge it did lose the Roman file. Prosecutors have a tomorrow morning deadline in court to respond to this defense motion, and we will be there. Jumi, David?
And we'll be waiting to hear what you report, Sarah. Thank you. And thank you for watching.
Stay with us.